Hello, everyone. I am pleased to be joined by Group Chief Executive Officer of Canadian Soccer Business, James Johnson. And I know it's 4 a.m. where you are right now, so I really appreciate your dedication right out of the gate, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and it's great to be here with you on this show this morning.
What attracted you to this position? Obviously, Canada is a growing soccer nation. Both the men's and women's team have done incredible things. Obviously, the domestic league has been around now for the men in its seventh year. The women themselves have just launched this year. There's a lot going on when it comes to the sport in this country. What in particular attracted you to this?
There really is. Look, I'm honoured to be joining Canada Soccer Business, and there's a great opportunity ahead, both for the group, but also for the sport in general. A great league, the CPL. We've seen that go from strength to strength over its 7 years of existence. Two phenomenal national teams, both the women and the men's senior national teams. A great grassroots community. Participation is very, very big and very great in Canada, and importantly, very close to hosting the biggest sporting competition in the world in the Men's World Cup. So, what a great opportunity and what a great time for the sport in Canada.
A lot of people in Canada are getting to learn about you for the very first time. You have FIFA experience. You're on the executive side. You've also been a part of some big partnerships, most recently also with Football Australia. So you also know what it's like to be on the federation side. If someone is just being introduced to you for the very first time, what is it that you'd like them to know about you and the credentials you bring?
Look, I'm a global citizen, and I'm also a global sporting executive. I've worked on the players side, I've worked on the club side, I've worked on the federation side, and I've also worked at the national confederation and global level. So I think what I'm hoping to bring to the market is different perspectives. I've worked on different sides of the game, and ultimately, in order for the game to grow in any part of the world, it's an ecosystem that really needs to work together. So I hope my experiences in different parts of the football ecosystem can be of value to the game in Canada.
Ecosystem is a word that we've been using a lot over the last few years here in Canada, trying to create that soccer ecosystem. And I'm wondering if you see any similarities between what Canada is trying to do with the sport and what Australia did with theirs too, in trying to create this, whether it's the lower leagues from semi pro to feeding the national team. Just do you see any kind of similarities that you feel you can apply?
Absolutely, there are similarities, and there's also some differences. I think the big similarity is Australia has just hosted the Women's World Cup in 2023, and we're able to see first and foremost how the game can grow and really leverage such a big competition. I think that's a similarity, of course, for Canada, albeit on a bigger scale. The Men's World Cup is the biggest sporting competition in the world. So, what an opportunity for the sport. There are some differences. The way that CSB is structured and CPL is structured in Canada is unique, and I think it's a really great structure. It's set up to really allow the economy of Canadian football to grow, and that's something that I'm really interested to learn more about and bring my skill set to Canada to help the growth of the football economy, the ecosystem, and the sport more generally.
How important is it to build off a home World Cup? You mentioned being able to do that on the women's side, and a lot of eyes here. I mean, you can't have a soccer football conversation in this country without pointing to 2026. How crucial is it for the CPL to be able to leverage that?
It's crucial. It's just such a big opportunity. You're talking about the world's biggest sporting event. Billions of people all over the world will be tuning in and watching football played on your local fields. It's an incredible opportunity for the CPL to grow in terms of its broadcast audience, but also its attendance. It's an incredible opportunity to connect and really hardwire the league into the community, which is thriving in Canada with the grassroots participation numbers. And it's an incredible opportunity to really hardwire the CPL into the senior national teams that will participate, the men's I'm talking about in this case, at the World Cup on home soil. A great opportunity to really use this tournament, this competition, as a platform for the CPL to grow, but also the broader game as well.
All right, I know you're just going to get started here, but right away, fans, when you talk CPL, you can't help but use the word expansion. So they want to know when you say this league is going to grow, that's the first thing, right, where their mind goes. And I'm wondering, what is a priority for you when boots hit the ground? Are we looking at expansion as a priority? Are we talking broadcast? Like, what is it that you're going to try and achieve first when when you really kind of take the reins of this?
Yeah, look, once I get to Toronto and to Canada, we're going to open up those sorts of discussions. There will be a lot of strategic discussions, but before we get into those, I really want to listen. I really want to learn, and I'll be talking to people within the community in Canada. We'll be talking to the team at CSB and CPL, and talking to Canada Soccer, and really trying to get a good sense of where the challenges are, but also where the opportunities are as well. So that's really the first thing to do. I want to listen, I want to learn, and then we'll develop the strategies and also a set of priorities going forward. And of course, issues like expansion will certainly be on the table. But I want to listen first and learn and work with the different stakeholders to really grow the league, grow CSB, and grow the sport more generally in Canada.
Well, what's also pretty that stood out to me in the press release is you are going to sit on the board of One Soccer. And it says where you will drive forward comprehensive media strategy for the distribution of CSB rights. And you've been a part of this before, again, when it comes to the rights and media. And One Soccer obviously is a channel 24/7 dedicated to Canadian soccer here. So sitting on that board, what are some of your plans for that and just the media rights in general moving forward when you talk about growth, economy, revenue? Where does that fit in? Where does broadcast fit in?
Look, broadcast is absolutely central in professional sports, and it's an area I have quite a lot of experience. I'm looking forward to bringing that. I think One Soccer is a fantastic platform. It's really unique, and if we can develop a broader media strategy where One Soccer is right at the heart of that, I think that is extremely exciting. But ultimately, a media strategy is about growing the reach and growing the audience and attracting our many fans across the country, but also people who are new to the sport and want to engage and be part of it. That's what's at the heart of a broadcast strategy, and I can't wait to get to Canada and start that discussion.
I'm curious to know, because governments are all different in every country. I'm not stating anything that people don't know. And one of the topics we've had a lot of discussion about here in Canada is trying to get more stadiums, right? When on the vein of expansion, it's also about finding soccer pitches, being able to get the permission, the government approval. So when you look at just the sport in this country too, how important is it to kind of get communities on board when it comes to building these soccer specific stadiums, and maybe in particular building soccer specific stadiums for the Canadian Premier League?
Stadia and infrastructure is absolutely key. It's where we go, right, to watch competitions, and you want fans and you want the community to have a great experience when they go and watch professional soccer in a country. So that's always going to be at the heart of a product. And I think the way in which governing bodies and also sports bodies engage with government in terms of unlocking investment that goes into infrastructure is really key. And that's something that we'll need to look at and talk about and discuss and really roll into a strategy as I get my feet under the desk sometime in the summer.
Yes, we're coming right at you fast and furious. Again, with everything, with all roads leading to FIFA 2026, there's still another road that fans of the CPL want to know about, and that's the one after 2026. So when you have this vision, when you keep talking about the sport in this country, I mean, how important is it to create something? We keep hearing the word, even in the press release, it's about sustainable, sport. It's about creating something that will last, a long time. Where is the CPL beyond 2026?
I think with any major competition that's hosted in a nation, the word I like to use is legacy, and legacy can mean many different things. But I think for a competition like the CPL, really growing the audience, growing the attendance, expanding, growing the economy, and also really putting the league on the global map. That I think this league can do, and I'm very excited to really use the opportunity of hosting the biggest competition in global sports as a platform to really grow the CPL, but also grow the game economically more broadly. I think it's super exciting, and I can't wait to learn more about the challenges on the ground, and then to really roll out some strategies in a vision once I get to Canada.
Well, I know a lot of people are looking forward to also learning a lot about you, and I'm wondering a little bit how you work. Like, is it important for you to call the clubs, whether it's calling CPLs? Is it important for you to establish any kind of relationship with Casey Stoney, with Jesse Marsh? Like, just have conversations. Like, are those relationships something you want to be personal, or do you also feel like there's some sort of structure too that kind of needs to be in place? I'm just curious to know a little bit about how you work in that sense.
Look, I'm very collaborative by nature. Particularly, I like to learn. I like to listen. I like to collaborate. I like to work collectively. I think ultimately, in order for the game to grow, the different parts, the different players within the ecosystem need to work together and really create the 1+1 = 3 opportunities. So that will be my approach. I'm coming in to help, to support, to listen, to drive strategies, but also to collaborate and work for the greater good of the sport in Canada.
Look forward to that. Appreciate you taking the time and being up nice and early. And we can't wait until you are in Canada.
I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you so much.